Hey, this is Luminous Podcast. I'm your host, Louis, and it is truly privileged to meet every single one of you. Sorry, I sounds like creepy, I know. Anyway, so you know what? This is the very first episode of Luminous Podcast. Thank you. Okay, by the way, I don't have any microphone, and this is not even a microphone. This is like a glue stick that I have bought at nearby grocery store. So in this episode, I am going to be sharing how to self-study English effectively, along with certain strategies and tactics that I personally use to master my English. Because you know what? A bunch of people, especially those from the class that I'm in charge of leading, have been asking me "Oh, Louis, can you spill the tea revolving around how you master your English?" And I was like, why not? This is my cup of tea, and I'm very enthusiastic about sharing knowledge, exchanging expertise, whatever, So I am going to be creating this video for you guys, okay? So if you're one of those who is really passionate about learning English like me, or just want to level up your English in general, this episode is for you, okay? So with that being said, let's get started. You know what? I've already made a list of what to do and what not to do while progressing at your own pace, reaching your learning English goals. Anyway, so first thing first, what you have to do is to just take a level test. Oh, another YouTuber podcaster asking us to take an assessment test. So hear me out. How would you be able to know, or how would you be able to determine your level of English unless you take any assessment test? So let's say you are a pre-intermediate student, and frankly speaking, everybody, including me, wants to change everything that we desire, overnight, or within the short amount of time, right? So how it could be possible? Well, my point is, what do? So you would basically go shopping, purchasing books like English grammar books and dictionaries, which may not essentially be in alignment with your capability and your comprehension of English in general. What happened? You will end up being fucked up, okay? I'm not gonna be sugarcoating, so I'm gonna be straightforward, okay? So you will screw it up in the first place, and you know what? You will get disappointed by the fact that you didn't choose resources wisely, so you quit. Good for you. I'm just kidding, okay? So in order to avoid this trap, you have to take a level test. Okay, so these are my personal recommendations of assessment tests that can be assessed on the internet free of charge. Okay, if you cannot find them, don't worry. I'm gonna link all of them down on the description of this episode. Once you have taken a level test, the result will come out subsequently, right? What you have to do next is start surrounding yourself with English as possible as you can. So what do I mean by that? Well, that sounds generic, and that sounds like a no-brainer either. Anyway, but my point is how can I surround myself in English? Your questions will be right? So read English books, newspapers, articles, or websites regularly. I mean on day-to-day basic, because that is my personal tips I use to harness my reading skill, okay? So I'm gonna show you, these are books that I've read. Do you see that? Almost every book that I picked are written in English, or it's documented in English. So that is how I surround myself in English as much as possible. Take a moment to distance yourself from your mother tongue. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get rid of your mother tongue. No. So when it's come to choosing books, I highly recommend you to kick off with self-help books like Atomic Habits by James Clear, Rich Dad Poor Dad, or if you are the type of person like me who is into like thriller novels, I recommend you to start off with Silent Patient here. Can you see that? Yeah, because like in comparison with like biography novels, other fictions such as Harry Potter, self-help books are way much easier to comprehend what author wants to convey. The second tips that you can do to surround yourself in English is watch English movies, TV shows, and documentaries, like listen to English podcasts, music, or audiobooks. So while you are doing those, you have to pay attention to like pronunciation, language, and expression used, like along with you jotting down new vocabularies on the paper. The third step that you can do is just keep a journal in English, okay? And write essay like every single day as possible as you can. Because like once you incorporate new vocabularies into your passages or sentences, your brain start to function like know those words and you get more like familiar with them. I highly encourage you to start a journal, okay? Okay, so the final step to surround yourself in English is strike up a conversation with people who can speak English, or just join like community or like conversation group and language exchange programs or like online forums that can contribute to your refinement of English. So for example, like I have been working for this organization called the Study Diary, which is non-profit. You can basically join this group. Like we have conversational club and IELTS speaking club if you are planning to take IELTS a few months down the line, okay? So that is everything that I have for today. Bye. Happy New Year.